Good morning. And today I will actually start with glycolysis. In the last class, in the college class, we had studied about uh, we had studied on about carbohydrates and their physiological significance. Just hold on for a moment. Okay. So we had in the last class we had talked about carbohydrates of physiological importance. Now, in this class, we will be talking about a metabolic pathway, which is a metabolic pathway, which this is glycolysis. Now, I will share my screen. So, please tell me if this is visible.
Yes, sir.
It is visible, okay. And let me tell you, from next week onwards, we will start offline classes. Keep 11 o'clock on Sunday as a time for offline class next Sunday. And one day we will have online class. So today's lecture is on glycolysis. So this is the structure of glucose. You people, can you see this cursor move?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the structure of glucose. This is the first carbon over here. This is the second carbon. It stays here. Third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, and this is the sixth carbon, which you are writing. Here you are not writing because in this particular nomenclature, but this means that there is a carbon over here. So this is the structure of glucose 6-phosphate. The carbon has got phosphate attached to it. Therefore, it is glucose 6-phosphate. So glycolysis, it takes place in the cytoplasm of the cells. In glycolysis, glucose enters the glycolysis pathway by conversion to glucose 6-phosphate. First, glucose, it is at a lower energy state. It needs ATP hydrolysis, and that energy from ATP, like you know, metabolically coupled energy from glycolysis, from ATP hydrolysis, that is given to glucose, and it becomes glucose 6-phosphate. Initially, there is energy input corresponding to cleavage of two phosphate bonds of ATP. So this is glucose, ATP, ADP, here magnesium, Mg2 plus. Enzyme is hexokinase, glucose becomes glucose 6-phosphate. This glucose molecule OH, it becomes glucose 6-phosphate. This is a bit of a formatting problem over here. Don't take it too much. I will give the proper note. Hexokinase catalyzes this enzyme called hexokinase. It catalyzes glucose plus ATP and it will form glucose 6-phosphate plus ADP. This reaction involves the nucleophilic attack of C6 hydroxyl of glucose on the phosphate of the terminal of ATP. So this is an ATP molecule, adenosine, there is a ribose and 3 phosphates. So basically the OH group of the glucose, it attacks here and it breaks it up. Energy is released. ADP is hydro. ATP becomes ADP. This phosphate is released, and this phosphate, it goes to glucose. One second. Now, this reaction catalyzed by hexokinase is highly spontaneous. A phosphoanhydride bond of ATP is cleaved. So This is the phosphoanhydride bond over here. This POP, this anhydride, this is cleaved. This phosphate is cleaved out. The phosphate ester bond formed in glucose 6 phosphate. This is the phosphate ester bond in glucose 6 phosphate. Glucose, CH2OH, has a lower delta G of hydrolysis. The model is the action by which hexakinase works. It is known as an induced fit model. That is, this yellow is the hexokinase enzyme, and you see the active site. This red arrow is pointing to the active site of the enzyme, and to that active site, this green colored circle, this glucose is going to bind. But in induced fit, what happens? In order to accommodate the glucose, the enzyme hexokinase takes the configuration of glucose to bind glucose. The active site changes its configuration or its structure according to the structure of the ligand or glucose which is binding. Am I clear? In the lock and key model, you have a key, the enzyme is the lock and the ligand is the key, and the key enters the lock and the enzyme, it gets fits. But here it is not like lock, it is an induced fit. The moment glucose binds to this place, the configuration of hexokinase changes and it accommodates, and its shape becomes like that to accommodate glucose. Understood or no, not understand? Please tell.
So understood.
Understood. Okay. The next step is an isomerization reaction. Glucose 6 phosphate gets converted into, this is fructose 6 phosphate. This is the glucose 6 phosphate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 6th carbon. Glucose, it gets converted into fructose 6 phosphate. And this is a ketone. This is how a fructose 6 phosphate looks like. This changes, and you can see the first carbon, it comes out, second carbon is outside, and the ring is formed with only 5 carbons. Four carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 2 carbons are outside. It's a 6 carbon compound. This goes with the help of an enediolate intermediate. We will talk in details later about enediolate intermediate, but how it happens, I will show later. The next enzyme is, now you had only one, the 6th phosphate. It is fructose 6 phosphate. Another ATP is hydrolyzed and it forms fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. In the first carbon, there is a phosphate. In the second carbon, there is a phosphate. This is an even more higher energy compound. So already, to start the glycolysis, you have 2 ATP molecules already being hydrolyzed. In the first step, this is the first step where the ATP is hydrolyzed. 1 ATP molecule gone. Second ATP molecule gone. This is the second step. And it forms a fructose 6. And this fructose 6 reaction, it is the rate limiting step of glycolysis. This enzyme is highly regulated. We will talk about it. In the next step, now we are drawing it into a linear chain. This is fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. First carbon, this is the fructose. Instead of OH, it becomes fructose. You have a carbonyl group over here, and you have the fructose 1,6 molecule. And the enzyme aldolase, what it does, it breaks it into half. One side you have a dihydroxy acetone phosphate. This is a ketone, acetone phosphate. And the other side you have glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. This is a aldehyde group over here and a ketone group over here. One is an aldehyde and ketone. This molecule is broken into 1,6-carbon molecule is broken into 3-carbon molecules. One is a dihydroxy DAP and one is GAP. Glyceraldehyde D3-phosphate and dihydroxy acetone phosphate. They are interchanged by the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. Am I clear so far? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Next step is very important. Now one thing which you had seen over here, this is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and this is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. There is this enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. What it does, it converts this dihydroxyacetone phosphate into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. It is converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So basically, although you see that there is one enzyme, one molecule of DAP and one molecule of GAP, actually this dihydroxyacetone phosphate gets converted to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and it forms 2 molecules of GAP. Am I clear? Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. It is broken into one glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and one dihydroxyacetone phosphate. This dihydroxyacetone phosphate then with the help of the enzyme gets converted into triose phosphate isomerase and it forms 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सब बोलो, जिसको क्लियर नहीं है बोलो मुझे. अच्छा, कोई क्लियर नहीं है? Now this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate taking an NAD and a phosphate, inorganic phosphate from the cytoplasm, it makes NADH plus H plus and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate gets converted into this compound over here. This hydrogen is replaced here and OPO3 is attached. This is 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. This hydrogen, it comes and it goes to this place. This NADH plus H plus. This is the structure of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. This is a very important step because you have an NADH plus H plus released. I will give you today the glycolysis notes. I will send it in WhatsApp. Please do read it before the next class. Otherwise, things will become very difficult for you. Biochemistry I started first because you have to study biochemistry regularly. Otherwise, you will forget. During the exam, you will forget all these reactions. Okay, the principle is that it forms a 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. And the enzyme is GAPDH, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. This is the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. This particular phosphate is formed. And this NADH plus H plus, it will later enter into the electron transport chain and it will produce ATP. Therefore, this NADH plus H plus is very important. In the next step, this 1,3-bis-1,3. This is the first carbon, third carbon, 1,3-bis-phospho. This is a glycerate from glycerol. If you have OH over here, CH2OH over here, it becomes glycerol, CH2OH glycerol. Therefore, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. It will, one of this phosphate will now go away and it will join with ADP. It's a high energy. From high energy, it will form a lower energy 3-phosphoglycerate. ADP will become ATP. and this is a 3-phosphoglycerate. Remember always that this is multiplied by 2 because one DHAP molecule, dihydroxyacetone phosphate molecule, it gets converted to another glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Therefore, there are 2 molecules of bis-phosphoglycerate, 2 molecules of ATP being formed, 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. Yes or no? Somebody said, tell me if you have understood or not.
Yes, sir.
Okay. এটা কি পর্ণালী?
Yes, sir.
ওকে
স্যার আরেকবার একটু বলবেন স্যার?
হ্যাঁ আরেকবার বলবো। এটা কি শুভদীপ নাকি শ্রেয়াস?
স্যার আমি শ্রেয়াস।
শ্রেয়াস, আচ্ছা। So this is you know that this 6 carbon is broken down into one dihydroxyacetone phosphate and one glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This dihydroxyacetone phosphate gets converted back into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So essentially you have 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate which are working. But what we are showing in this reaction is one molecule. What we are showing is one. Actually, this is 2 into. So 2 NAD, 2 NADH plus 2H plus. So it is this is taking place double, 2 times. I am showing only one reaction over here, but it's happening 2 times. So instead of 1 NADH, actually there are 2 NADH plus 2H plus formed. Am I clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what happens is this 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, which is formed from glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This phosphate is transferred to an ADP molecule and that becomes ATP. So essentially, 2 molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is actually transferring 2 phosphates to 2 molecules of ADP to form 2 molecules of ATP. And the product is 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. Are we clear here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the next step, phosphoglycerate mutase. This 3-phosphoglycerate molecule, this phosphate is transferred to 2, the second carbon. It becomes 2-phosphoglycerate. Enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase. Next step, we have the enolase enzyme. What this enolase does, you have this glycerate, 2-phosphoglycerate, that gets converted into phosphoenol pyruvate. It is nothing but this double bond. There is a double bond shift. OH group is removed. This OH is removed. And this OH is gone and a double bond is formed over here. This is phosphoenol pyruvate. It is done by the enolase group. Next step. In the final step, 2 molecules of phosphoenol pyruvate transfer 2 phosphates to 2 molecules of ADP to form 2 molecules of ATP, and a pyruvate or pyruvic acid is formed. And this enters into the Krebs cycle later. Pyruvate is formed. So essentially glucose, ATP to ADP hexokinase, glucose 6-phosphate, phosphoglucoisomerase makes it into fructose 6-phosphate, ATP hydrolyzed again, ADP phosphofructokinase, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. There is this enzyme aldolase, it breaks it into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and this dihydroxyacetone phosphate, with the help of the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase, it goes and forms another molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, this NAD plus PI, it takes and it forms NADH plus H plus. There are 2 gaps per glucose, remember. This happens into 2. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, it forms 1,3-bis-phosphoglycerate. ADP and ATP, ADP becomes ATP now, phosphoglycerate kinase, and it forms 3-phosphoglycerate kinase. One phosphate goes, the first one's phosphate goes and it forms 3-phosphoglycerate. Then this converts it into 2-phosphoglycerate. Enolase removes the molecule of water and it forms a phosphoenol pyruvate, and pyruvate kinase makes another ATP molecule over here. So you see 2 ATP molecules, and since this happens 2 times, 2 into 2, 4 ATP molecules are generated. 2 ATP molecules are consumed. This happens 2 times, and 1, 2, and this happens 2 times. Therefore, 4 ATP molecules are generated. What else is generated? 2 molecules of NADH plus H plus is also generated. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is the balance sheet. This you will remember. All these types of questions have come. I will send all these things to you. But first I will send you a note which you people must read. This takes place in your in the cytoplasm. This glycolysis takes place in the absence of oxygen. Right? It takes place in the absence of oxygen. But you don't need oxygen for this particular glycolysis to take place. But the next steps, they require pyruvate. So under total anaerobic condition, suddenly there is a shortage of oxygen. So this pyruvate gets converted into lactic acid. So if you do lot of exercise one day, lot of energy is required. Therefore, because energy is required, glucose breaks down and gives ATP. ATP is your energy in your body. You need this energy. In under anaerobic condition, in under fermented condition, this suddenly when you're running, your muscles feel a shortage of oxygen, and then after exercise, when you come home next day, you have pain in your body, and this pain in your body is because of after exercise, because of lactate or lactic acid accumulation. So it goes away within 1 or 2 days. This lactate becomes back into pyruvate, and it enters into the Krebs cycle. Because the lack of oxygen, the next steps of Krebs cycle, it doesn't occur inside the mitochondria. Mitochondrial respiration, it needs oxygen, but the respiration in the cytosol by glycolysis, it doesn't need oxygen. This takes place with the absence of oxygen. This is the non-oxygen. This is the anaerobic phase. That is, oxygen is not required. But the aerobic phase takes place in the mitochondria, which we will be studying in the next class. Am I clear? বুঝতে পারলে?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. এগুলো অতটা পড়তে হবে না, আমি তোমাদের নোটটা দিয়ে দেবো। এটা এমএসসি তে পড়াই তো, এমএসসি নোট এতে থাকে এগুলো। You have to read about it. So we have to talk a bit about the regulation. So there are 3 steps of regulation. First is the step is at the hexokinase step. More of glucose 6, say the cell has got, you are sleeping, the cell doesn't need energy. Does it need energy when you are sleeping? Lot of energy. During running you need energy, but during sleeping you need less energy. Do you agree with me or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When you are running you need more energy. During sleeping, very less energy. So when you are sleeping, if glycolysis takes place and you have lot of ATP produced in your body, it is a waste.
isn't it? No, the prayojan nahi. You don't need energy when you're sleeping. Do you need energy?
No, sir.
So you're sleeping then. You need very less energy. That is there. But do you need excess energy? Why do you need glycolysis? You don't need glycolysis. So what happens at that time when there is no energy requirement? This is known as product inhibition. A lot of this glucose is getting converted to glucose 6 phosphate, but then a lot of glucose 6 phosphate, when it accumulates, what happens? It inhibits this hexokinase enzyme. It inhibits. This is known as product inhibition. The presence of lot of glucose 6 phosphate. But if glycolysis is needed, what happens is glucose 6 phosphate will become fructose 6 phosphate, and this will keep on going, and more glucose 6 phosphate will be produced from glucose. More glucose will be broken down. But when suddenly a lot of glucose 6 phosphate is accumulating, because in the later steps also there is a blockade, because you don't need energy at that time. Lot of energy is present. What is energy? ATP. So if you see that there is lot of ATP being present, ATP will inhibit this enzyme. It's a regulation. Lot of ATP is in the cell, lot of energy in your cell. Why will glycolysis take place? What it will do? It will inhibit this enzyme to make glucose 6 phosphate. And this is known as allosteric inhibition, because the inhibition is at a site other. The enzyme has got an active site. Say the enzymes, this enzyme's function active site. This is the substrate which is entering. Are you able to see my hand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This mouse is entering. My mouse is the ligand. It is entering into my hand. This is the active site. This is the active site. My hand is the active site. So this is enzyme substrate binding. But then allosteric means I don't directly steal it from here. What I do, I twist my hand at a different side, and then this releases this. This is known as allosteric. At a place, inhibition is taking place at a place other than the active site. So this is a first step of inhibition, regulation. If there is lot of ATP and lot of glucose 6 phosphate, hexokinase is inhibited. If hexokinase is inhibited, the glycolysis pathway doesn't start, and this glycolysis is inhibited, it stops. But suddenly you see the cell needs lot of energy because ATP is less, ADP is very high. ADP is very high, and concentration of glucose 6 phosphate is very low. Immediately glycolysis will start to take place. There are other hormones also which help this process. We will talk about this later. Let us talk about pyruvate kinase. Pyruvate kinase is also another step of regulation. So, lot of pyruvate, what if there is a high concentration of pyruvate, it will stop this, and you will have this phosphoenol pyruvate accumulating. Lot of phosphoenol pyruvate will accumulating. It will again inhibit all the enzymes of upstream. So glycolysis will be stopped. Most important is the phosphofructokinase step. Phosphofructokinase is allosterically inhibited by ATP. At low concentration, the substrate ATP binds only at the active site. So, when ATP is at high concentration, ATP also binds at a low affinity regulatory site, promoting the tense conformation. So, high ATP, what happens? What I mean to say is, when there is a lot of high amount of ATP, that ATP will come and bind to the phosphofructokinase enzyme, and it will inhibit allosterically. When there is low amount, it will of ATP, that is ATP, you need more ATP, then it will promote, it will allow the enzyme to work and convert glucose 6 phosphate into fructose 6 phosphate. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Shubhendu? Okay. Now let us see this one by one. What happens? The main reaction is what is this main reaction? Can anybody tell me what happens over here? Just what you feel, what you think. High amount of glucagon. Glucagon is an enzyme. It stimulates protein kinase A. ATP is hydrolyzed into ADP. There is another enzyme. I will show this in another slide. Jam হয়ে গেছে। Okay, it has jammed. So we will stop over here. Regulation of this phosphofructokinase, you need another fresh day. But first, you need to read these steps before you understand this, because I'm having the impression that you people are unable to remember the steps. Okay, so what you people, I would suggest you people to do now is you people go through the note. Okay, and I will send you the note of from Instant Notes in Biochemistry, that book, and you read it in the 1-2 days. Please read it. I would request you honestly, don't keep it. Read it now itself. Otherwise, you will have problems. This biochemistry is something you people, when you're students, you people will suffer a lot. But later on, you will understand that this biochemistry is very good. So what you do right now is study this. And then next class, we will talk about regulation of glycolysis. Okay. Any questions regarding all these steps?
No, sir.
Question nahi? Nisab? Kara kara ache dekhi. Nisab is there. Afshar is there. Shubhodip is not there. Okay. Fine. Then I end my class here.